Hey everybody, love and blessings. Good morning. You know what today is? Do you know? It's Self-Love Saturday. I love this day. I love the fact that I set aside this time for myself and to share information with others about what it's like to live the self-love life. So you know me, I'm Cindy, an intuitive self-love therapist that brings you the energy and the vibration of love for your inner self, for your soul self, so you can get out and do what? Live the self-love life. That's right. So today we're going to talk about willingness, because willingness really is the very first step in living the self-love life. This is when you really know that you are moving forward in the spiritual flow of who you are as a human being, because you choose willingness. Hi everybody, I see you coming in and I just want to send you love. Thanks so much for tuning in, we'll call it. So is there a better word for tuning in to the live life of the self-love life? I don't know. But anyway, so here's the scoop. What we're going to talk about is willingness, and what I want to ask you today, when it comes to your own self-love life, when it comes to choosing love for yourself, I want to ask you this one very important question. How willing are you to make this a priority in your life? How willing are you to commit to living a self-love life? You know, if you have things in your life that are a struggle, or you have times of up and down, we all have that. We all have that. But you know what I like to say, and that I know not only on a personal level through my own soul's journey, but also through helping others. Through helping others is, once you've lived a self-loved life, one day, one 24-hour day, you can never go back. Never go back. Because the bumps, the struggles, the challenges, you know, all the little things that come up in our human existence no longer hit us so hard, right? It's not a bump anymore. It's more like a whoosh. I'm just going to move through this. No problem whatsoever. But there's one thing that you need to do before you get out on the road, and that is commit. Commitment to the self-love life. And I call it the self-love life versus just saying learning how to love ourselves, because there's so much in our brain and in our thoughts about love, and our misconceptions about what we think love should be or shouldn't be. So a lot of times we get very caught up in that. But the self-love life is an energy. It's a vibration. It is rising yourself to a place where peace comes easier. It's about rising yourself to a place where you choose yourself first. It's about rising yourself to a place where you know your nose. Not this nose. I'm talking no. When you get to that place where you're able to say no to people, or no to things that happen, or no to your boss even, you know, whatever it is, things that just aren't honoring your soul and isn't honoring you, that is one way that you go, oh, you know, I must be starting to live this self-love life. But let's get back to willingness. One of the first steps is being willing to live this self-love life. And here, let me tell you a little bit about willingness, because I think it's really important that you know this. And that is, you know, in psychiatry, willingness is one of the very first steps to human change. So in psychiatry, willingness is one of the very first steps to human change. In your soul's life, Your soul is just a willing being. It's willing to be in the flow. It's willing to go through the thises and the that's and the ups and the downs. It's willing to be loved. It's always willing to love or be loved. So when you step into the energy of willingness in this human experience, you're stepping into the energy of your soul. You're stepping into the soul's existence here in this human experience. So what I'm going to ask you today is, who will raise their hand? I'll raise my hand. Will you raise your hand? And be willing to connect to your being on a deep, deep, deep level and say, I'm willing to live the self-love life. I'm willing to connect with the energy of my soul. I'm willing to not take things so much of a struggle and just have more joy. Because that's what the self-love life is all about. It's stepping into joy. And like I said a few minutes ago, once you've lived the self-love life one circle of a 24-hour time, you never can go back. Doesn't mean you're never going to have a struggle. Doesn't ever mean that you're ever going to have, some kind of a bump in a relationship. It doesn't ever mean that you're never going to get your little feelies hurt and feel a little sensitive. That's not what it means. What it means is your willingness gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and your commitment to your soul and your commitment to your human existence and being the best that you can be on this earth. So if you're willing, type in there. Put a little thing in the comment. Say, hey, Cindy, I'm willing. I'm going to join you. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. I'm willing to live the self-love life. I'm willing to love myself. I don't know how that looks. I don't know how that feels. I'm not even exactly sure, period, if this can happen, because we are, sometimes a little faithless when it comes to this, right? But I'm willing. I'm willing to try. So some of the things that happen when you become more willing is you get more self-honest with yourself. When you're willing, you're more honest with yourself on a deeper level. And so what that means is when things come up that no longer match this willingness, that no longer match this love, you get really honest with yourself and you'll go, wow, I really don't like that. I guess I can let this go. I guess I can leave this out into the universe and just not be attached to that anymore. The other one is passion for self. Most of you know, maybe some of you don't, I had a very struggling childhood and younger life. I was born with a very rare birth defect. I was born with one hand smaller than the other, which is just a small little blip on the screen. But my big blip on the screen was I was born with a congenital radical mastectomy. And that means I was born without one breast on one side of my body. And on top of that, at the age of 4, my parents dropped me off at a children's receiving home, never to see them again. And so the deal is the coupling of those two things together made me go, oh my God, I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. I was living the self-unloved life for the first 30 years of my life. Until finally I did a little switch over. And that's when I started having passion for myself, which is all part of this willingness, is having passion for yourself. It's where I'm not going to take this stuff anymore. I'm going to connect to my soul. I'm going to know that I'm this beautiful being, and I'm just going to figure this out. Wasn't easy. Didn't matter. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you do the commitment and that you're willing. The other thing that happens is all of a sudden you get clarity around stuff that, had been messed up in here or stuck in here, or you thought or beliefs that you'd had for years, And all of a sudden, you get clarity and you realize, oh, well, not only is maybe this why this happened, or not only is this no longer an attachment I need to be attached to, but you just get clarity. You see the universe and the world in a different way. You see it in a more beautiful way, in a more loving way. The other thing that you do, which, oh my God, this one's big. Yes, it's huge. You let go of fear. You don't have fear anymore. The things that used to scare you, the things that used to make your heart go beep, 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 like, you know, maybe doing a live video on Facebook. Maybe that makes your heart go beep, 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 beep. But whatever it is, you don't have fear of it anymore. You let go of the fear because you start connecting to the love of your soul, which is so your soul is the being that you are. You know, we get very confused in this human experience that we're, you know, this body, that we are this brain, that we are our circumstance, what's going on around us, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We get all attached that that's what we are all about, but we're not. We're a spiritual being in a human experience, which means not only are you human, yes, you're having this experience, but you're really just a being of love. So willingness and commitment to connect to that being of love is the most important piece. So what I'm going to ask you today before we leave here, because we're going to be gone, I'm going to be gone in just a couple minutes here, and that is, are you willing today to connect with your soul on a deeper level and say, I'm willing to live the self-love life? I don't need to know how that works. I don't need to know if it works. I don't need to know anything. I'm going to have faith and I'm going to jump out and I'm going to be willing to live the self-love life. So willingness is the key today, and I'm asking you to be willing to live the self-love life. So if you live here in the Sacramento area, you can join me tomorrow at the Psychic Halloween Expo at the Crown Plaza, right on 80 and Madison Avenue. And come on over. Not only will I be doing some amazing free, that's right, I said the word free, healings for people on a self-love, heart-connected energy, but also be doing two amazing talks. One is called Living the Self-Love Life, and I'll talk to you a little bit about how to do that. And the other one is called Blocks to Blessings. And that's how we release this veil, open it up, let it go, and move into the blessings of our lives instead of what we believed we were attached to, these blocks, right? So tomorrow, again, on at the Crown Plaza, it's called the Halloween Psychic Expo. You can actually go to newearthevents.com and find it and get a free ticket. So there's a little secret, get a free ticket to the expo tomorrow. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is be willing this week. Have a grateful heart. Be willing to live the self-love life. I'm sending you love. I'm sending you joy. And I'm asking you to step out and live the self-love life. This is Cindy Sharp, Intuitive Self-Love Therapist. You can go to theselflovelife.com and get the 10 ways to get started today on living the self-love life for free. Just some fun little thing that I'm going to give you. Okay, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow if you live here in Sacramento. And if you don't, this is what I have to tell you. I love you. You love you. You may not know it yet, but be willing. Peace, love, harmony. See y'all later.